Hey Joe, I got your text. What's up, man?
We got a big drought.
So I just checked the weather and it looks like we're gonna get a direct hit on the wings that are sitting down in Florida from Hurricane Ian. I gotta get somebody down there to pick these wings up right away.
What's up, Jason?
Hey Joe, hey, I need a huge favor, man. So I have the wings to the 401, the ones that I just bought, I was telling you about. They're down in Florida. There's a hurricane coming. I don't know if you've seen in the news.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I got to get down there and get those wings back up here and make sure they don't get damaged. Do you have time to stop by, grab the Escalade, grab the trailer, and head down there?
Well, I guess we need to get her done, so yeah, sure.
All right, man. I'll be down here. Stop down as soon as you can get here.
Awesome, brother. See you soon.
All right, see you soon.
Yep.
Bye. So it looks like Joe's gonna save the day. He's gonna be able to come down, get my trailer, head down to Miami, and get those wings back. And it's not the Joe you guys are thinking. It's not this Joe, it's this Joe. We can get those wings back here and get the parts we need to get this thing fixed.
And here we go. We're off to go pick up some 401 wings. It is about 9 o'clock Monday night. Hoping to be back for Friday morning. We'll see how things go. It's a long drive. And we're off.
So while Joe goes down to Florida and picks up our wings, I got a couple things I got to clean up around the hangar. So guys, if you haven't heard about the newest brand of shoes, Vessi, you got to check them out. I love them. They'll change your life. The number one thing I love about my Vessi shoes is I can break out the power washer and get stuff done, but my socks stay 100% dry. Vessi shoes are made from Diamantex, a dual climate knit material that keeps you cool in the summer and warm in colder weather. They definitely don't feel like they should be waterproof, but they're 100% waterproof. Great for unpredictable weather. They are comfortable, lightweight, and even breathable. So if you're anything like me, you hate having wet feet all day. I can be at the hangar working on the airplanes. I can go through puddles. I can get my feet completely wet. But my socks, they are 100% dry. And not only that, they're waterproof and they breathe. My feet don't get hot. They stay cool. And if it's cold out, they keep them warm. I'm not sure how they did that. I have no idea, but they're amazing. My Vessi shoes are my new favorite everyday shoe to go anywhere or do anything, even working in the shop. Make sure you guys click the link below and you'll get $25 off any adult pair of Vessi shoes. A couple weeks ago, you saw a video where Sam and I, along with Jake, headed down to Miami because we had a fix for the free abandoned airplane. A guy here at our local airport sent us a text telling us about some 401 wings for only $2 grand that were down in Miami. You guys saw, we headed down and we checked out these wings.
Goodbye, thank you.
Oh, it looks like he took them apart semi-properly. Wow, it actually looks really good. They really look, this part of the wing looks a ton better than ours. The wings were in pretty good shape. The engine mounts were in really good shape. At the time, we thought we needed whole wings. We didn't know that we had 500 hours left on these wings to fly off. I found something out. We don't need to buy wings for the 401, but we headed down to check them out. The engine mount areas looked really good. The rest of the wings were okay. I'm really surprised, honestly, how good everything looks.
Yeah.
Really surprised. When we arrived down at Miami Executive Airport, also known as Tamiami, we were kind of ambushed from some people at the airport that were really angry that these wings were laying on the ground. I had no idea what was going on with them. Here, the wings had sat there for a very long time. I had told the folks there at the FBO that I had just bought the wings. I didn't know anything about any agreements or how long they were sitting there, but that we would be back in a week or two to pick them up. They agreed, and we left, fearing for our lives from attack from these huge Florida Hornets. We just narrowly escaped with our lives because of attack of the killer, what were they, wasps or hornets?
Yeah, they were wasps.
Now, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the hornets down in Florida, but they're really angry and they're really big, and there was tons of them. About a week later, I called down to the airport to let them know that I had someone that was coming to pick up the wings, and that's when some weird things started to happen. I was actually questioned if they were my wings. They said something that I would need some kind of a bill of sale for them or I couldn't come and get them. So I scrambled to do that. I contacted the gentleman that I bought the wings from, and he was gonna send me something over. I called back later that day, and that's when I found out that the wings were actually gone. Soon after I left, the airport called an aviation recycling company so they could get these off the property. So the airport called John at Flying Colors Aircraft Parts in Leesport, Florida. John came down right away, grabbed the wings, and took them back to his recycling yard. The lady that I talked to at Tamiami told me this after I got a lot of runaround, and I believe it was because they knew I owned them and that I was coming to get them, but they just wanted to get rid of them. So I got a hold of John. John is a great guy. He was very helpful, but it looks like John forgot to mention something.
Well, here we are, day 2 of our trip. Stopped here to rest stop, check things out. So we'll do a once over on our trailer here. Straps are tight. Check all 4 tires. Should always give them a good kick. And I'll tell you what, after the last trip, we went and put some fresh sneakers on this trailer. She rides like brand new. You forget she's back here without a load. Alright, now we'll go under the hood. We'll give a quick look. I don't know if you guys saw the little tow rig we got here, but she makes a whining sound, and I'm really not sure why. Oh yeah, she's wet. I mean, she's got her all. Coolant looks good. I think we're ready to get back on the road. Got a couple more hours, about 5.5, and we should be to our 401 wings. Well, here we are. Quite the little yard we got here. Oh, there they are, 401 wings. Have some slight modifications that is not going to help us at all. A little rougher than when we left them. Cradles were cut, now utterly useless. Obviously, if you've been watching the videos, you would recognize that it needs to be sticking right off them 2 rails. So 2,500 mile round trip. It's looking like it might be for what we can get in scrap. What a shame.
Hey Joe, I got your text. What's up, man?
We got a big problem. Somebody cut the front of the cradles off of these wings.
You're joking.
I wish it wasn't. Yeah, they cut them off flush to the rest of the wings.
So, like, nobody, I called down there 2 or 3 times and nobody said anything. Are you sure they're the right wings?
Yeah, he pointed them right to me, and they look just like the ones you looked at.
Oh my gosh.
Transportation issue, and they cut them.
Probably to move them so they could probably fit them in the trailer. Is any part of the wing any good anymore, or are they all ruined?
Honestly, for what we need, I'm not sure, they're going to help us in any way anymore.
All right, let me, I wish they would have told us before you drove all the way down there. Let me call John and see if we can, I just got to see what's going on.
Yeah.
All right, bud. I'll call you back.
Sorry, man.
All right, see ya. They cut off the very components that we needed. I haven't been more heartbroken in a long time because we had just sent Joe on an 18-hour trip from Pennsylvania down to Florida to pick up these wings. Hey, John. Yeah, it's Jason. Hey, so Joe's down there and he said the wings, the front motor mounts cut right off of them. No, that's literally the part that we need for the 401. Yeah, I know. No, and I understand. That would work. But it has to be the left wing. It'll work. I mean, I'd say cut off 6 inches to the left, 6 inches to the right. If you have it, I mean, it would really save us. That's really all we need off those wings. All right. Thank you, John. All right. Bye. John, being such an awesome and honest businessman, he saw the mistakes that were made by, the airport. He felt terrible for us. He wants to be part of, Rebuild Rescue. He found out then about the 401 project and he became really excited about it. He actually took a concrete saw and he cut another 401 wing apart.
So talk to the gentleman here. He says he has another cradle that might be usable. So we're going to go over here and we're going to take a look. I mean, we got wings for days, fuselages for days. So here we go. We have the blue one here. It's a little tough to get really good eyes on it where it's sitting. So we get this pulled out, inspect it really well, and make sure it is what we need and no corrosion. So this here might save our trip. We just opened up just enough access to get here and see if we can't pluck this thing out of its tomb here. We have our cut lines marked for the underside of the wing. Once we get this cut, we'll need to flip it over and repeat the process on the top side. Well, here we go. We're all loaded up. We have a replacement cradle to replace the damaged ones, and we're going to start our journey. Well, here we are, about halfway home. Another fuel stop, another $120. Nothing really shifted, everything's staying put, which makes my job a whole lot easier. I think we got a little over 400 miles left, but we're looking good.
So Joe just gave us a call a few minutes ago. He's going to be pulling in here any minute with the scrap wings to the 401. Can't wait to check these things out. I'm a little scared because I'm going to be really disappointed. But let's check them out.
Well, that's not a sight for sore eyes. And here we are. Hopefully everybody's excited to see the wings. Well, we made it. Here's our 401 wings.
Such a
long trip.
How are you?
Good to be home.
What did you do?
I didn't do it, Sam.
I don't know. Do you believe me?
I was quite heartbroken when I arrived.
Isn't that the part we need?
Yeah.
Oh, here, I got the other half for you. Said we could just, tack them back together and they should be good to go.
Yeah.
Quick weld job.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's rough.
That like breaks my heart. I know when you showed them to me, pictures on your phone, it's a lot different seeing them, and it's a really, really, really good thing that we decided to pull the assemblies out and not use these wings as replacement wings because, well, they wouldn't work at this point.
Yeah, the moment I saw it, I didn't know whether to cry, yell, kick, scream.
The good thing is John is an awesome guy. He just happened to have another 401 wing there with the parts that we need. So for a while there, like after Joe got a hold of me, I thought for sure that we had just lost thousands of dollars in parts. Not only that, a trip where Joe, 26, 30, 40 hours of driving.
42 hours round trip.
Yeah. A lot of fuel, a lot of time, and my heart was breaking. So, but I think this will do. I think this will work. So he did send us, didn't charge us at all. He felt really bad. So he sent this up with Joe, which is the center section. Now, it was a little hard for me to see in pictures to see what the beams look like. I'm hoping they're good. Unfortunately, it looks like the tip tanks were ruined somewhere along the way. John, obviously, he didn't know that we had bought the wings, the week before and that we were coming to pick them up. And, the folks at the airport there didn't tell him. So he was just doing his job. It was really, really awesome of him to go ahead and destroy a wing down there, cut this out for us so we would have the parts that we came down there for. This tip tank's ruined too, and this is ruined. Although the wings were damaged and the tip tanks are damaged and everything else, we still brought them up because we had this huge trailer that we sent down, and we wanted to make sure that, my luck, we would not load them up. We would leave them down there. There'd be one part inside those wings that we need, and they would be unobtainable. So we just we went ahead and we brought them up. And if I'm going to be flying the 401, I'm sure that we may need some replacement gear parts at some point. I mean, because my landings are more on the side of a Sam landing than a Steve landing. That's exactly what I say when I land. Ouch. Man, these were in such good condition. Look at them. They're all primered. There's no corrosion on them anywhere. All right, well, let's take a look at, I'll hop up here and take a look at this one, hoping it's usable. So right down in here, this is the area that we're worried about, but it's really hard to tell if it's completely good, but it looks pretty good. This side looks all right. That side looks all right, but the bad side and the side that was bad on the 401 because of drainage is actually inside this hole here. Right there it is. Looks dirty. It looks okay from here, but there's probably an 1/8 inch of like grease and dirt, which that's not always bad either. I'd rather have a greasy one than a dry corroded
Sometimes
one.
that's the best protection you could have against corrosion and rust.
Yep. A little bit of grease and dirt. You can see the rivets there are all intact. If there's corrosion, major corrosion in the plate, these rivets are going to be corroded. And I can see all the rivets in there. Matter of fact, I don't know what's going on here. There's like a bunch of rivets in there. So we might have lucked out. These might be good. We won't know until we get in there and we dry ice blast all that residual mess out of there. We're basically just doing everything we can to get this thing fixed. So one day, the Phoenix will fly again. It'll happen, mark my words. I'm telling you, it'll fly. Now we just got to get this thing out of here, and we got a ton of drilling to do. You know what? I realized? I realized this whole time, just because I know you so well, the viewers don't know who you are. I'm saying Joe. They probably think you're Joe, the A&P. So this is Joe, my buddy. That is Joe, the mechanic. He's worked with us for, oh my gosh.
Off and on, 15 years
Yeah,
maybe?
15 years. Joe kicked ass. He just drove like all week, hurried down there. I don't know if he slept yet or not. And now you got to get some rest. So let's get this off of here, and we're going to start cutting rivets out of here. We're going to cut all these rivets out. We're going to get it all lined up, and we're going to put it in the 401. Hopefully, it all works. I don't know. It might not work, but we had to try. What do you think, Sam? What do you guys think? Is this going to work?
I think we're ready for a break, so
Well,
I think it's going to work.
You think it's going to work?
It's about time.
Oh no, it's definitely not going to work. So what do you guys think? Put a comment down below. Is this going to work after all the struggles, after all the drama and stress of getting these wings? And is it going to work, or is it going to be a dead end road? Am I going to be a fool? Is it like 0 to 0 or something like that?
I know Jason don't know how to quit.
No, we're not
He's
quitting.
not going to stop.
There's no way. There's no way. This thing will fly if I have to like whittle wings out of balsa wood. Oh, I mean spruce wood, like Freedom.
Wow. I'm sorry, spruce.
Spruce wood. Spruce. Oh, whittle 401 wings. I wonder if there's an STC for that, whittled wings. Let me get some roller carts and we'll get this thing out and on the ground. Oh, watch your fingers.
I got it.
All right, just sit down.
Good?
Yep.
It's a lot better.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna get the leaf blower and dry that thing off a little bit. All right, we gotta get all of these attached hoses and pieces all off of here, so we're gonna do that. And then we're gonna get the engine hoist, we're gonna lift it up, we're gonna put it on its end, and then we're gonna start drilling rivets. So back in my racing days, when I used to build race cars and race them, I'd buy like hundreds of these AN fittings. Had I known there's probably thousands in every aircraft recycling place, I would have went there, and I could probably buy these for like pennies on the dollar. So obviously, if these parts were in a wing that we were using the cables and everything, you wouldn't take an angle grinder and cut them off, but it does make it a lot easier to get them out, because on the other side of this wing, they were already chopped off by a concrete saw. There's actually a pretty big difference just by removing all the hoses, all the cables. But the other thing it reminds me of is how many hoses and cables have to go back on when you assemble this. There is stuff routed around everywhere. The other thing I'm a little bit worried about on this engine cradle, unlike our other cradle that was perfect, it looks like this one has a little bit of surface corrosion. I'm hoping that we get it apart and it's not all the way down and or gets worse. Hopefully it's just a little surface corrosion. We can clean it up and get this thing installed. All right, so we got most of the rivets drilled out of the top. So now we're gonna lift this thing up with the engine hoist, get it level on its backside, and we're gonna get the rivets out from underneath it. I was telling Joe earlier that we were gonna get all these rivets out a lot faster than him and Keith got them out. And he said we were cheating though, because we didn't have to lay under the wing.
Work smarter, not harder.
Yeah, he just would have had to flip the airplane up the other way around.
Perfect.
I think that should do it. So right under these 2 points are the access holes to the bolts that bolt the wing spar onto these main engine cradle beams. I believe if we pull these off, we're gonna be able to peek in here and see what it looks like and what it feels like inside this engine beam. The left one looks good and it feels good. Now this right one, all right, it looks good, it feels good as well. I have a good feeling about this one. I think this one's gonna work. Now I'm gonna get this side loose. That was a rough one right there. You hear it? It was like. All right, so we got the bottom of this engine pan all released. We got all the rivets out. Right there is the main engine beam that goes up through the cradle, and it is in excellent shape. Guys, this is gonna work. We're gonna be good. So Joe and I are gonna spend the next couple hours, or probably days, pulling rivets out. We're gonna get this all apart. Next episode, this is gonna be going in the airplane. Thank you so much for watching Rebuild Rescue and come along on these adventures. It means so much to us. Take care.